We on the move. Come on, y'all. Let's go. Hey. Ain't no stopping us now. We on the move. Thank y'all for coming out. I appreciate this. Okay. I see you.
So you guys, I want to apologize for that. I know it was hard to sit through that, even though it was only for about 15 seconds. But that's going to get us started off on this video today. So Tiffany was dancing because that's her little victory dance for winning the recall. So if anyone doesn't know by now, Tiffany Henyard was actually recalled. So technically, with the votes that were counted, she was recalled. There was a technicality, quote unquote, and then the judge went ahead and threw out the recall. So they were stuck with her, and naturally she wants to rub it in their face. Let's continue.
You was feeling that, huh? I feel you. Thank y'all for coming out. Today is a good day. Yeah, won't he do it? Woo! Yes. Okay. All right. Next, if everybody will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. If you will continue to stand for prayer, William, I will have you lead us in prayer this evening.
Let's bow our head and put our faith and hearts towards the Lord. Father, we thank you.
So while he does his prayer, I'm going to talk about this guy a little bit. If you guys don't know anything about him, his name is William Moore, and at this time he was the head of the water department. Now he has been fired from Dolton, but he still follows Tiffany Henyard around like a little puppy dog, and a lot of people notice it and they say it's very creepy. And Tiffany always calls on him to do the prayer. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. He gives me cult follower vibes. Let's listen.
And we thank you that there is no weapon that's formed against us that shall prosper. And every tongue that rises against us in judgment, you shall condemn. So the battle is not ours, the battle is yours. So we thank you for the victory.
So yeah, he's preaching all fire and brimstone like dude, you're praying before a board meeting. It's like, chillax, man, okay? And then of course, he's congratulating Tiffany for winning the recall, just kissing butt. That's what he does best as well. All right, you guys, I'm not going to go too much into him today. I might do a whole separate video on him because he is an interesting character in this whole thing. Because right now he volunteers his time, like I said, following Tiffany Henyard around like a little puppy dog. But let's go ahead and continue with this board meeting.
All right, next we have general announcements. Do anyone have any announcements?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to read my statement into record. Federal residents, it has been a long journey despite many calls for help regarding the behavior of this administration. The lies, the complete utter disrespect of myself and the fellow trustees have uttered, the court battles, the public fights, and more. Let me say for the record, and your vote matter. I want to acknowledge the 2,000 some residents who voted to recall this mayor. It took courage, and I'm proud of everyone who stand up. You sent a strong message. When the time comes, I encourage you to continue with this exact message next election. I commend the mayor on our fight. I congratulate her on her outcome, and I only pray that this experience serves as a lesson that this seat that she holds or we hold is not ours. It belongs to the residents. I look forward to a brighter Dolton tomorrow, and I'm committed to continue the fight of our residents, and I'm committed to serving the community that I know and I love and I raised in my family, young family in. Thank you.
I got something to say.
Well, you're going to have to wait because we're going to talk a little bit about what Trustee Ed Steves just did. So he went ahead and congratulated Tiffany, which I feel, he probably shouldn't have done because Tiffany is the kind of person, once you congratulate them or even apologize for something, all they're going to do is turn around and rub it in your face and make you regret even thinking of talking to them and trying to communicate with them like they're a sane person. Okay, so as much as it pains me, let's go ahead and continue and hear what Tiffany has to say.
One thing I want to say is thank you to all the residents of Dolton for standing with your mayor that you elected by 82% of the vote. Thank you. It was an uphill battle, and it's a shame that these trustees will actually spend your taxpaying dollars and waste over $500,000 trying to recall me. That's what you call wasteful spending.
You guys, she makes it too easy sometimes. Let's go ahead and look at this clip of Trustee Tammy Brown talking about a little wasteful spending on behalf of Tiffany Henyard.
On top of that, we have a bill for $19,899.50. They are for 122 banners of North Street. For everybody to
Quiet, please.
Now I wonder where these banners are going to go. Somebody tell me. 122 banners, they all can't fit here. So they must going to go up and down the street on Sibley. You want to talk about money being spent recklessly? Here it is. Pay your bills first, and you can do whatever you want to do as long as it's approved by the board. Get approval first. Stop spending our tax dollars just like it's willy-nilly. It's not. And you want taxes to go up. When I came here 17 years ago, $2,300 in property taxes. I'm at 69 plus. For what? For what? Stop taking my tax dollars and playing games with them. This is what I'm talking about. And then you want to say it's not true? Here it is.
So yeah, she put Tiffany on blast because, you know, Tiffany, that's what she does. She spends up all the money and then she goes and blames everybody else. Another point she made is that the taxes are going up. The taxes are going up because Tiffany spends like there's no budget. And speaking of taxes and their taxes going up, one thing Tiffany used to always harp on the mayor about is not raising the residents' taxes. And you guys know me, I'm not just gonna say it, I'm gonna show you some examples. So the first example is gonna be her earlier days as a trustee, and then the second example is going to be around the time she was campaigning to be mayor. Let's check it out.
Mayor?
Yes.
I got a comment. I am against the increase. And the reason being is I do talk to Dolton residents, mainly seniors, and every senior is either on a fixed income and they can't afford the increase. They barely can afford their bills now. Most of them are losing their homes, currently in foreclosure. So I don't think by increasing anything at this moment would be feasible for the board to move Dolton in the right direction. I think that at least you guys should consider a year later on an increase and not currently. I think that we should personally go back to the budget and scrub the budget down, because if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Urban, you did say this would raise $15,000 of income, correct?
Depending on the rate that you would increase it, it would go from $15,000 to $240,000.
Okay, so if we increase that and you said we're gonna make 15 for the year, that's alone $15,000 in salaries from whether it's raises, new positions that I feel we can scrub down, and there's the money for the water right there.
That would only be at a 5-cent increase.
But that's, I'm telling you my opinion, how I feel about it. I just think that we backtrack and go over our steps and fix what we have first before we make the residents responsible for that increase.
So you guys, I have to play this part again because at the beginning she's trying to sound all coy and she actually talked like she had some sense back then.
Mayor?
Yes.
I got a comment.
Mayor, I got a comment. Totally different from the Tiffany Henyard we hear now, right? But let's go ahead and take another look at Trustee Tiffany Henyard, and this is during her campaign mode leading up to before she became mayor. And this is her once again talking to the mayor about not wanting to raise taxes.
The problem is you guys are talking about raising property taxes. So tell the residents that. They don't understand all this jargon that we're speaking of. So just be 100 with the people is what I'm saying. Be clear. They don't understand.
You know, Trustee Henyard, there's some towns and villages that have a annual tax increase levy. Some of them are at 3% and 4%. So they don't have to go through this, what we're going through tonight. It's automatic. It's automatic. And those pension funds and those increases for employees, union employees, that these contractors negotiated for are automatically funded.
Okay, Mayor. So are you suggesting that we increase it? What are you suggesting?
I didn't, don't put words in my mouth. Don't put words in my mouth.
You're the leader. What are you suggesting we do?
I just suggested it. It goes to
that we what?
It goes to the committee and the board decides whether they want to increase it or not. It's not up to me.
No. But you my leader, so I'm
I
asking
only
you.
vote.
What do you suggest, Mayor? Do you feel we should raise it or not?
Wait a minute. Did I hear you say I'm your leader?
You are right now.
Okay, then.
For
All
now,
right, then.
just
Thank
for
you.
another 2 months. But
Then
tell me what you think, Mayor. Come on.
Then thank you. Let it
You
go to
wanna-
committee.
Oh, so you don't want to give a response? That's what I'm
Trust-
talking about with mayor leadership. When you supposed to respond and say, trustee, I think we should raise it. I think we should not. I think we should go this route. You never give
Trustee.
any opinion because
Trustee.
you don't want to be held accountable for anything. I don't
Trustee,
like that. So
when
now
I
you put
say-
back on the board, but you never say what you think, Mayor. What do you
Trustee.
think, Mayor?
Trustee, when I tell you what I think, then you start an argument with me. Go
It's
ahead,
not
Trustee
an argument.
House.
You're not telling me anything.
Right.
You just
Okay.
saying go to committee and put it back
Yeah.
on the board. You're not saying what the mayor thinks we should do is what I'm asking you.
Thank
You're
you for
not
your
responding
comment.
to that.
Thank you
Exactly,
for your
I
comment.
know. Right.
Trustee House, did you have?
Unfreaking bearable. Okay. She is so unbearable. And the way she used to talk to the mayor, just so disrespectful, deplorable. Talking about, well, yeah, in two months, you're not going to be mayor anyway. Basically, that's what she's saying. And she's taunting them, oh, you my leader. So that's what I'm talking about with mayor leadership. This girl, she put so much stress on the mayor. And from what I hear, he ended up having a heart attack or something. Dealing with her and the way she was talking and the way she acted, I wouldn't doubt it. And she definitely wasn't following Robert Rules of Orders. Like she always say, Robert Rule.
Is that it's amazing that people get up here, such as the Board of Trustees, and say things about Robert Rules of Order, but yet they don't follow Robert Rules of Order. When I give a order, we supposed to follow them because I am the leader for the community.
You know, like, where are Robert Rules of Orders? Oh my goodness, you guys. But as we can see, she was trying to call out the mayor for trying to raise the property taxes because they needed to make sure they could pay the police and fire their pensions, which is reasonable. She would always be on the mayor about making sure the taxes don't go up. And then I was thinking about it, and I think the reason she used to do that because she already had it in her mind that she wanted to be mayor and she wanted to set herself up with a good budget. She wanted to set herself up so when she gets into the mayor's position that she would have all this money at her disposal and she would be able to make the changes that she wanted to make herself look good. That's my assumption, you guys. What do you guys think? All right, you guys, let's get back to this board meeting.
Keep that same energy. Why? Because his seat is up come February of 2023. So y'all make sure y'all get to the polls and vote, because people need to know what's going on in the village of Dolton. No mayor has done the things that I've done within a short time of being your mayor.
You know, the fact that she says that like it's something good shows you that she doesn't really understand the ramifications of her actions. I take that back. I think she understands, she just doesn't care. So just because you're out there spending the taxpayer money up super fast doesn't mean that you're making Dolton better. You're spending it up, you're doing a lot, and then you're doing it in a very questionable manner where you're not including the board when you're going out and you're selecting these vendors and you're paying people. And you guys, it's a hot mess, but if you've been following this for a while, you know what's going on and the accusations basically of her skimming a little bit off the top. Okay, those are accusations, allegations, however you want to say it. That's what it is for now. But one thing we do know is that Tiffany Henyard has no problem trying to get personal gain from the village. And I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but I did a video on her as a trustee when she was trying to get her baby's daddy a towing contract with the village. She ended up being successful in doing so because people didn't know how to put her in her place at that time. That was a conflict of interest that should have never happened. But I digress. Let's continue.
When all these trustees talk about what they assume I'm doing instead of coming to learn and educate themselves on what I've actually been doing, which everything I've done to this day have been legal and have been for the people. So I just want them to know that I never see them nowhere and I'm everywhere, because it's a shame that when we come to board meetings like this is the only time I see them or the only time we interact with one another. We should be able to interact with one another whether it's a board meeting or just a regular day during the week, so that we can take care of the business of the people. Because you elected all us to do the will of the people, not just Mayor Henyard, but everyone. But my board has been obsolete as it relates to unity, and they have divided our community because of their personal hatred towards their mayor, their jealousy towards their mayor. All they had to do is work with me, and we would have been in a better place.
I find it funny how she mentions that she never sees them anywhere. Maybe because they're trying to avoid you. And unfortunately, the same disrespectful way she acted as a trustee didn't really sink in for people until she became mayor and she got more power. And then it just amplified. And then people were like, oh, what did we do? And then it was too late. But yeah, no one wants you to call them. No one wants to be where you are, because this is the way you act.
All I saw was, yes, I made history, and thank you. I made history for the third time. How many times I got to keep making history to show people my work, to show people what I represent and stand for the people? It takes a lot of courage to stand in a seat that I sit in, and I'm also your supervisor for the township. So it takes a lot of courage to keep pushing and keep moving, and I keep going, and I keep elevating and showing y'all what it is I'm going to do with Dolton. And with that being said, I wish they stopped trying to tie down the history and be a part of the history, which, wait a minute, y'all was, but y'all lost. Y'all lost again for the 18th time of lawsuits that you done put in against me for mayor. And all these facts will come out. I can't wait till they come out, but I just want residents to know what is going on and how tax dollars are being spent. Because everybody say what I do, but any dollar or any money that I spend in the community goes right back into Dolton. It goes into building infrastructure for you. It goes into the ice arena that I'm putting on 144th and Greenwood for you. You got the new basketball courts. You even gonna get a water pad, which is a splash pad, but we're gonna also put in there a doggy park. And also we're going to do a skateboarding ramp for everybody. But everything that I do is for community. I just need that for people to stand with me and stop fighting progress, because all I've ever done is try to progress Dolton. I am going to make sure I put Dolton on the map for good.
Boy, the definition of eating one's words. Well, she put Dolton on the map, all right, but it wasn't for anything good. We all know that by now. She had the quote-unquote cancer charity that she started and then claimed she didn't start it because people were asking more questions about it, where the money went, which she had Thornton Township, where she works as supervisor, donate to her own cancer charity. Cancer charity fraud, allegedly. You know, she's hiring all these vendors. Like I said, she's not bringing them before the board. She's not presenting RFPs, which is request for proposal, which is something that a company sends out when they have projects to be done to different vendors, and then they select from at least about 3 different vendors. But she's not following that process as mayor because there's speculation that she's picking who she wants to pick so she can get a little bit on the side. You guys, the list goes on. So this is not what this video is about. We could go on for days. Let's go ahead and get back to it.
So please stand with me, residents, as we go and move Dolton forward from here on out. I thank you, and I will forever be your mayor of the village of Dolton. Thank you. So next we have the village clerk's report.
I don't have a report this evening, Mayor.
You don't got nothing? Okay. But next we have village administrator's report.
Hey residents, how y'all doing? Good to see everyone. My report is short. I just like to make everyone aware of the OSLAD grant that we applied for, which is $600,000 for the Greenwood Falls project, which is, again, what the mayor mentioned, the skate park, the dog park, the walking trail, the splash pad, the basketball courts, the ice arena, and a few other projects that we talked about. We should hear back from the state about that within the next 30 days, but I want everybody to be encouraged. That's an additional $600,000 worth of grant revenue that we should receive coming up for the upcoming year. And also, we had the delay on the audit. We should be able to wrap that up. I think we finally got the last attorney to confirm that they had no objections to the audit. So We'll provide you guys with a copy of that in the next upcoming meeting, so we can pass that at the next regular board meeting in November. That's all I have, Mayor.
So you guys, if you don't know who this is the village administrator who turned on Tiffany. His name is Keith the Thief Freeman is what the internet is calling him, because he's been indicted for bankruptcy fraud, but he was able to keep his position with the village due to whistleblower status. But one thing I wanted to point out that I always noticed about him, and it just disturbed me, okay? I've never said it, but he always looks like he's ready to get up and run somewhere, all right? Body language says a lot about people. I had to say that. It always bothers me. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but he's always looking like he's about to get up and go. Like, dude, this is not a track meet. You need to calm down, sit down. But I guess when people are constantly looking over their shoulders, their body language can show it. Let me know if you guys have ever peeped that. And then maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe it's just because he's tall and he has to brace himself for the microphone. I don't know. That's just what it looked like to me. But let's go ahead and get back to this board meeting.
Thank you. Next, we have corporate bills. Trustee House.
On a normal month, our corporate bills average about $2 million. Of this warrant list is just over $3 million. So we got corporate bill payments of $2,134,239.19, manual checks of $56,192.58, gross payroll September 9th, $383,180.64, gross payroll of September 23rd, $409,602.92, Melanie Fitness Center payment register $45,888.95. Payroll at Melanie, September 9th, $428.05. Payroll at Melanie Fitness Center, September 23rd, $428.05. Total corporate payments on this register, $3,029,960.38. Now we'll also read the accounts payable, which is the electronic payments that come out of our account.
So before he continues, the accounts payable is the money a company owes its vendors.
Into record, corporate payments $166,180.77. Water fund payments $311,834.14. Federal forfeiture register $5. Sewer fund register $806.69. Melanie Fitness Center register $162.86. Total payments on this register $478,989.46. My motion at this time will be that we approve the payroll on this register and all other invoices be held for a week to allow the board the chance to held until next week Monday for a special board meeting to be called, allow the board members time to review, get answers, discuss with the finance director as well as administration why the bills are higher, much higher. We've seen some things on the warrant list, but we'd like to get some answers. So my motion is to pay the payroll at this time, while moving the other bills to October 10th special meeting that we would like to call. So my motion is for the payroll only.
So basically he's taken off the corporate bills, manual checks, Melanie Fitness register, which honestly looks a bit high to me. And he's just basically not paying anything on the other list. Because like he did say, all these bills look a little bit higher than they usually are. So he would like to take them to a finance committee meeting so they can discuss it a little bit more in depth. Well, what do you think Tiffany's response is?
It's been motioned and second. So any discussion? Because I got a lot of questions. Why would you guys motion to move not paying the bills when you guys know we pay the bills every first board meeting of the month? And this is primarily my example residents. If they was actually doing their job instead of worrying about fighting me and doing recalls, you guys will be equipped and ready for this meeting. You guys looked at this warrant list. If y'all have any questions, you can ask it now so we can get the bills paid. We have projects that we're doing currently now, and we need to move forward. So I'm asking the board to reconsider and pay the bills so we can continue doing our work.
May I be recognized?
Go ahead.
You just said that if we ask questions, are you going to respond to them right now? Because that's what you asked.
Trustee.
I just asked the question.
It's always a smart remark.
That wasn't smart. You said if we answer the questions, are you going to have a response right now before we make a decision to pay these bills?
Trustee, obviously y'all got y'all mind made up, right? Because you came in here. Hold on, and I'm responding. Because you came in here and you said that you want to table it to have a special board meeting. So don't waste our time asking us questions if you guys are not going to pay the bills.
Oh my goodness. So like I said before, the hypocrisy is strong with this one. She literally just said,
if y'all have any questions, you can ask it now so we can get the bills paid.
And then when Kiana asks a question,
if we ask questions, are you going to respond to them right now?
This is her response.
So don't waste our time asking us questions if you guys are not going to pay the bill.
So which is it? You're going to answer the questions or not? I think we all know the answer to that. Let's continue.
Y'all do this every board meeting.
So you're not going to respond? That's all.
Trustee, you want to take the motion off the floor? I can respond.
Oh, so you're not going to respond unless you get your way?
And you can answer your question.
Okay.
Go ahead, answer your question.
If you're not going to respond, it doesn't matter.
I think you guys need to pay the bills.
Well, let me say this. We usually get the warrant list Thursday. That's how it's been for the past 5, 6, 7 years.
Every excuse why we don't pay bills.
Can I finish my statement,
Go ahead.
please? And we usually get the bills Thursday. We got $2 million in extra spend, almost $1 million, $100,000 for a skating ring. And with the finance director to say, we're operating at a $1.5 million deficit right now. And then later on this agenda, they want to take out a loan to actually pay bills. If we were being more cautious with our money and running lean, you run lean in the government towards the end of the year because you're waiting on property taxes. And we're not getting the property taxes right now because there's so much spending.
Order in the back of the room, order.
She actually wants to take out a loan to pay bills. So all I'm saying is that we're getting this too late. Who we gonna call on Saturday for a question? We usually get it on Thursday. If we get on Thursday, with Friday, we can ask all the questions that we want. But we're getting it Saturday evening intentionally. So when we come here and ask questions, we generally don't get an answer. So all we need is more time to go through this warrant list. $40,000 or at Melanie Fitness to fix a pool. None of this stuff is ran before the board. None of this stuff is ran. It's done, and all of a sudden we see it, and then it's on the warrant list to pay for it. I seen the ice skating rink. I didn't know how much it cost. Supposedly we were supposed to get donations, $105,000 out of taxpayers' money to pay for it. And we don't know. And like I said, we have to take out a loan. She's asking to take out a loan just to pay bills. So when you spend more than what you got, then you have to take out a loan to do that. That's irresponsible use of money. And if we're not responsible for this money, we're going to take out more loans, more tax anticipation loans to pay for stuff that if we were running lean, because right now property taxes are slow, we run lean. That's how you run government. But right now the spending is bananas. And that's all I'm saying is that we just want to be patient, look at it, get some answers, to come in here and talk to our village administrator and the finance director to get some clear answers on what we're paying, why we're paying this much. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. So once again, you guys had this document. You guys could have reviewed it before we got here. And like y'all always do, grandstand about things y'all don't know about. You make false accusations up here about spending and what it is that I'm truly doing. If you truly wanted to know the answer, Trustee Steves, you could have called me and asked, and then I would have gave you the answer so you wouldn't be up here just throwing things to the public. Because the things that I'm paying for that's for community is through a grant. So please get your facts right before you speak. Please.
What grant we got? What grant we got?
See how all you want all the questions now? I'm not going to go back and forth, but you can have a meeting with me. We can go over what grant we have and how we're building out the ice arena.
Right,
so you can stop telling people that we're using funds of the taxpayers and this grant money that we're using to build these things that I'm creating. Just like I got another grant for $600,000 to build something else. So please get the facts before you keep lying to the public about what it is I am doing.
So literally the only one lying to the public about what she's doing is her. So the $600,000 grant money that she's talking about that she has, let's rewind a little bit and let's see what the administrator said about that grant.
I just like to make everyone aware of the OSLAD grant that we applied for, which is $600,000 for the Greenwood Falls project, which is, again, what the mayor mentioned, the skate park, the dog park, the walking trail, the splash pad, the basketball courts, the ice arena, and a few other projects that we talked about. We should hear back from the state about that within the next 30 days, but I want everybody to be encouraged. That's an additional $600,000 worth of grant. I just like to make everyone aware of the OSLAD grant that we applied for.
Yes. As he said, they applied for the grant. They don't have the grant. It's not there yet. And from what I hear, in order to get grants, you have to have audits. You have to have all your finances in check. And he also mentioned that they didn't have the audit done yet.
And also we had the delay on the audit.
So Tiffany, like usual, is just blowing hot air. And she's once again telling them that all they have to do is call her phone. So with that, I'm going to leave you with Trustee Tiffany Henyard once again, contradicting Mayor Tiffany Henyard. And you guys, if you've made it this far in the video, please remember to leave it a like. And if you're new here, subscribe.
So why didn't this come up before? Why are you just bringing this to the board now? Number one. Number two, why you just not sending us a package at 4:46? I got that today. So that's my other issue. So we didn't even have time to digest what it is you're stating here. But yeah, y'all throw it in front of us and get upset when we go against what you're saying, but we don't even know because we didn't read it. You just sent it to us. So why? We talked about all this. We're supposed to get better, but y'all study doing the same thing. It relates to you guys getting the warrant list. When you get the warrant list, you guys' job is to call and ask questions. If you are concerned about something on the warrant list, then you'll wait until we have an actual board meeting. Then you'll get here, then y'all will grandstand and say, well, we don't want to pay for this and we don't want to pay for that. You had ample time to go over with me, ask me questions, and say, Mayor, what are we doing with this amount?
Why did you guys not give me what I was asking for, or the board? The board asked for it, I asked for it.
Well, you know,
he gave it to you and you said you went and looked at it. You could have called us, emailed it to everybody. We wouldn't even be discussing this right now. We'd be past this if you just gave us what we asked for.
Yeah.
These are easily verifiable lies. That's unacceptable. The mayor's village reports and financial reports, the stand have it because the rest of the trustees don't have it. The attorney general's asking for credit card receipt. I guess the attorney general was lying too. I know she wants to say I'm a black woman and it's because I'm a woman. You know how many women that she's affecting?